Good afternoon to all of you. Let's give Rick Cotton and the Port Authority team a big round of applause and remember them and what they went through on this day. We thank Alan Steele and the Javits Center. This has gotten so large now that we need the Javits Center to host us. So thank you very much for your hospitality, Alan Steele. Monsignor Romano, thank you once again. Thank you for giving us peace and guidance. Monsignor Romano. To all my colleagues and the elected officials who are here, and to the members of law enforcement and the FDNY who have a special burden to carry today, Pat Lynch from the NYPD PBA, Gerald Fitzgerald and Jake LaMonda from the UFA and the UFOA, and Frank Conti from the Port Authority PBA. We're sorry for your loss, and we remember you in our thoughts and prayers. Let's give them a round of applause. To all my colleagues in government who are here today, to our distinguished friends, today is simple. The words behind me say it all. Honor, remember, reflect. 9/11, it's hard to believe that it was 18 years ago. It seems like it was yesterday. And today brings it all right back. And day-to-day life gets complicated and we get busy and there's a lot to do. And sometimes we lose focus of what's important. Today reminds us what's important in life, what's important about ourselves, what's important about society. And it's not as complicated, it's simple. It's about values, it's about who we are, it's about our character, it's about our soul, it's about duty and honor and freedom and integrity and who we are at the end of the day and what we want society to be at the end of the day. And 9/11 brings that moment to all of us, where we step back and we look back and we say, who are we and what are we doing, where are we going? So yes, we honor, we remember, we reflect, and we act. And we act. The Monsignor is right. 9/11 was not just 18 years ago. 9/11 is every day. We have men and women, thousands of them fighting the 9/11 fight for us today in the Middle East, and we have to remember them. "9/11 was only the first attack in a war that goes on today and will probably go on for our lifetime. 9/11 said they were attacking New York more, they were attacking freedom and democracy, and we are a symbol of that freedom and democracy, and we are proud of it, and we will defend it. And if you want to attack it, we will defend it, and we will be there." But 9/11 is real, and 9/11 says we also have an ongoing obligation to act. And that's why I'm very proud of my colleagues that we passed a new law that said, yes, it's 18 years, but it's also today. And we want the young people today to remember 9/11, and that's why we passed a law saying there will be a moment of silence in every public school so students understand and remember and learn the lesson of our history and 9/11 and what we did and who we are and what we face. It's our duty to act, and that's why in a few minutes I'm going to sign a bill that brings into law the fact that anyone who showed up to help on 9/11, the 100,000 people who showed up, they deserve us to be there for them the way they were there for us, and they're going to get their health benefits and their pension benefits, and we're not going to leave them alone because they are also American heroes. And we honor them, and we honor their families, and we will take care of their families the way they took care of ours. We also honor the courage that they brought. We all like to believe that we have courage, that if we were there in that moment, that we would step up and we would do the right thing. But you don't really know. You don't really know until you're there exactly what you would do. We're going to retrace on the motorcycle ride the path of the trucks coming out of Rescue 1, the firehouse on the west side of Manhattan. Rescue 1, they got the call, they came out in their trucks, and they were going down the West Side Highway. And they could see the trade centers. And they could see what was going on. They saw the inferno. And they were on that truck, and they were coming all the way down that West Side Highway. And think to yourself, what they were thinking on that truck as they were going down the West Side Highway to that towering inferno. What thoughts were going through their head? What texts were they sending? Weren't they saying to themselves, I'm going into a place where the danger is obvious and I may not come out of that place? But no one got off that truck. No one said, I have to worry about my family. I have to worry about my kids. No one stepped off. And when the truck showed up, they all looked up, saw the flames, saw the danger, saw the destruction. They were experts. They knew what they were running into, and they ran in anyway. That is courage, my friends. And Rescue 1 is symbolic. It's every NYPD officer who ran into that building, who responded to that call, and that's why each and every New Yorker owes the NYPD undying respect and gratitude for what they have done. It's every FDNY officer who ran into that building and responded to that call, and we owe everyone our undying gratitude. It's every Port Authority policeman, every local police officer, every state police officer who responded and had that moment that called into question their courage. And they all stepped up and they all walked in. That, my friends, is true courage. And each and every one of them are American patriots, and that's the courage that makes America, America, and don't you ever forget it. And the pain and the suffering didn't end on 9/11. For thousands of families and thousands of individuals, they relived it today. I was at the ceremony this morning at 9/11. Tears as if it was yesterday. As if it was yesterday. Thousands who have never gotten past the trauma of it. Death, people die. We understand that. But not like this. Not where they left for work in the morning and said, I'll see you tonight. And then were just gone. Just gone. You never got a chance to say goodbye. You never got a chance to say I love you. You never got a chance to say I'm sorry. They were just gone by a senseless act of cowards and terror. And those families relive it, and they live with it. And the 100,000 people who then showed up to help and didn't know that when they were standing on that pile, they were subjecting themselves to all sorts of chemicals and dangers that could ravage their body years later. Of the 100,000, 14,000 have either died or contracted serious illnesses like cancer. 14,000. And they're living with it every day. And they show that same courage. And that same courage was shown by the gentleman you just saw on the screen. Detective Luis Alvarez showed up and worked on the pile because that was the right thing to do. No one asked him to do it. No one said you had to do it. But it was the right thing to do. And he developed cancer. And he suffered with that cancer. Over 69 chemo treatments to get the cancer under control. And his family, who is here today, suffered with him year after year. Lainey, Tyler, and David. And then as he knew he was dying, and he knew the days were short, what did he do? Did he sit at home? Did he enjoy himself? No. They said, Louis, you have one more challenge. We need you to go down to Washington, D.C. and testify before the United States Congress, who doesn't want to pass the Zadroga bill, which would continue the health benefits. And we need you, Louis, to go down and look at all those cameras and look at all those Congress people and face all those questions, even though you're sick, even though you know you're dying, even though you're going through chemotherapy. We need you to step up one more time. And what did Detective Alvarez do? He went down to Washington, literally in his last days. And he looked the Congress of the United States in the eye, and he spoke the truth from his heart. And what he said was simple, but powerful. He said, put your damn politics aside and remember what it means to be an American and respect those people who gave their lives to defend this nation and pass the Zadroga bill and honor the American values. That's what Detective Alvarez did, and that's what his family did. And that, my friends, is the American spirit at its best. That is American courage. That is American patriotism. That is what we all hope and aspire that we could be and we could do. And in this time of ugliness all around us, in this time of anger, in this time of fear, let's remember what makes this country the greatest country on the world, and this state the greatest state in the country. We will never forget the price of freedom, and we will never forget to honor, to respect, to dignify the American values and those who fight for them. And please join me as we honor Detective Alvarez and his family with the highest state medal, the Governor's Medal of Public Service, and then we sign into law the bills that are going to protect those people who showed up to help so that their families have the security of health benefits and pension benefits, and we repay our debt to them. the best we can because they gave their lives, but we're doing everything we can to do our part because that is the New York way. The Alvarez family, please join me.